Yo, it's Winston Hodges, and welcome to episode 3 of Crowdsourced Comedy. Yeah, the topic this week was overwhelmingly agreed upon. I mentioned that I was having a colonoscopy a few days ago, well, a couple days ago at this point, and everyone was like, we want colonoscopy jokes. I mean, literally, look at all these. Look at all of these. It's insane. Here's me at a couple places last night when I got the topic working on a few jokes.
I got recognized immediately after my colonoscopy by one of the two doctors that did it. They woke me up in the room after they had done all the exploration that they needed to do. And I put my glasses on, and my doctor goes, you look exactly like the guy that was on that Kevin Hart show. And I was like, I was the guy on that Kevin Hart show. But it was weird to be recognized immediately after she had been inside me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird place. That's the second worst place to be recognized. All right. Second is after the colonoscopy. First is in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the last thing you want is a lady looking at your ass and being like, I think this guy was on Netflix. I think It's true, man. He said I had the tightest ass he'd ever seen. That's what they said. It's true, man. And you can ask him, but we have patient-doctor confidentiality, so he's gonna. They're like, I've never seen an ass like this, and I was like, oh, stop, doctor. You don't need to flirt like that. You don't need to appreciate it. He's like, no, it's miraculous. I was like, oh my. I know it's a miraculous ass. They're like, I've never. It's like it's got so many rings. It's like an old tree. All right. That was for me and that guy. Nobody else. No, I don't want to get. It's tough because I do want to talk about the colonoscopy, but I think there's a fine line between informative and then really gross. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to find the balance. And I think we're at the line. I think we're at it. But I have a thing about diarrhea on here, and I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm an artist. I'm not going to do the diarrhea joke. The only thing I'll say is they do tell you when you do it, the medicine you take to prep, they tell you you are going to have the worst diarrhea you've ever had in your entire life. That's what they tell you. But I have severe IBS, so it was just a Tuesday. I was like, is the medicine even working? Okay. That's it. I'll figure it out. I just don't like saying the word diarrhea. It feels too gross. If anybody wants to see the pictures, I'll share you. They found two polyps between 5 and 7 millimeters. They think they're precancerous, but we're going to find out when it comes back. You know what I mean? Which I hope it's not cancer, but if it is cancer, I'm probably going to get a special. I'm in my mid-30s. I recently got, and by recently I mean yesterday, part of the prep for a colonoscopy is they tell you, hey, you got to take this medicine. And they go, you're going to have the worst diarrhea you've ever had in your life. That is literally what it said on a written medical note. It's like you were going to have, the term they used was severe diarrhea, which is psychotic to have that as the phrasing. They're like, you're going to have the worst diarrhea you've ever had in your life. But little did they know that I've had IBS for 25 years, so it was just another Monday. You know what I mean? Like, what? I was like, oh, what is the medicine? Cheese? Incredible. Incredible that you made me pay $60 for cheese. The medicine. It was nice. They said I had the tightest ass they've ever seen. That's literally he said it was severely tight. It's his favorite adjective. He was like, your ass is so tight, dude. It was incredible. It was incredible. I felt the tongue. I'll be honest with you. I did. And I was like, oh my God, Dr. Kumail, please. Oh my God, stop. Oh my God. This wasn't arranged by your parents. Okay. Good. It was incredible. I got recognized immediately after my colonoscopy. I did. I was coming to, still just wearing the gown, coming to, and one of the doctors who was inside me that I had not had the play, because apparently my ass was so tight, he needed help. He was like, we need a very basic procedure, like oh my God, we got to get fucking the Iceman in here, you know what I mean? Goose or whatever. And they brought this really wonderful doctor in. But I met her afterwards, and I said, where are my glasses? Because they won't let you wear glasses during the surgery or whatever. And so I put them on, and she goes, wait a minute. She goes, with your glasses, you look like that comedian that was on the Kevin Hart show. And I was like, I was the comedian on that Kevin Hart show. And that is when I realized being recognized immediately after your colonoscopy is the second worst way to be recognized. The first is during, because I don't think I could have handled her looking at my asshole and being like, I think this is the guy from Netflix. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Oh my God. You know what's crazy? Do you know your assholes are like trees? I know, he counted 35 rings. one for every year I was on God's green earth, isn't that? What else? If anyone's interested, I have the photos from the colonoscopy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, those were good. They were, one was at a club, the other was at an open mic at a bar down the street, but they were both good mic sets, and we got to learn a lot. It's interesting because I've already been doing a little chunk about how I made an appointment to get a colonoscopy. Like, I've got this big chunk I'm working on right now about having good health insurance now, and so I'm going through a bunch of doctor stuff. And I talked about going to the gastroenterologist and, having to fight for getting a colonoscopy. And, there's a few jokes in there that I'm pretty proud of. But it was interesting after it happened. I was just trying to think because I didn't want to do stuff everyone else was doing. So I did one, which is a true story, which is I did get recognized. And the rest is kind of just silly, stupid stuff. Like, I just was thinking, like, what's the silliest thing that it could possibly be? When I was at New Material Night for Hotbed the Club, it was more just kind of fully formed jokes. That was more talking it out with people. Like, oh, these are the 3 ideas I had for a joke. Let's see, how these work, if you guys think they're funny. And there was a nice little reception there, and then I immediately sprinted down the street, went into this other mic, and then I just kind of went into full riff mode. I knew the 2 things that I wanted to do, and the rest was just like, what are just weird, silly things that I can say to get a reaction. So this is the first time while doing this where I've gotten a prompt, and it was stuff that I probably would have written a joke about anyway. And it was kind of hard to write new jokes on a topic where I'd already kind of been working on stuff, because I didn't want to cheat. I didn't want to just post the getting a colonoscopy appointment jokes that I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. So I was kind of just thinking about it all day, but this is a great example of I had a couple ideas of a few things that actually did happen, and then the rest was just relying on the ability to riff and to have fun. And that's the importance of, like, I probably wouldn't have riffed like that if I had just done the mic at the club. At a club, to me, there's more pressure. I still have a level of respect for a club where you want to do a good job, and I was going last on that show, and even though it's New Material Night, those people came and they sat for a long show. You don't want them to walk out with a bad taste in their mouth. But that's why it's important to do shows at every level, man. That balancing act of stuff where you're trying really hard so you get good, and you get good sets, and you get good tapes, and the jokes can get tight. And then also making sure you're doing some of the stuff that's way less pressure, or like just an open mic, because if you don't do that, when are you ever going to have any creative freedom to work on the things that you want to work on and to grow as an artist? So, yeah, man, thanks for checking out this week's episode of Crowdsourced Comedy. It's a little haphazardly put together because your boy has been a little out of commission with the colonoscopy thing. Like, I took off Sunday, I took off Monday, and so I kind of only had Tuesday. So I asked the question Monday, what do people want to hear about? They typed it all up. Tuesday morning, I looked at it, saw that it was almost exclusively do colonoscopy jokes. And, here we are. So check it out every Wednesday, man. Come on, watch us here. And thanks for checking out a Crowdsourced Comedy episode, baby. Episode 3. Let's go.